Tonight, reeling from the storm. Powerful storms, over 100 tornadoes and more hit parts of the country. The results, deadly. The latest on the ground as millions of Americans find themselves under severe weather threat as those already hit hard try to pick up the pieces and move on. Plus,
there's no question that this is going to be a close election.
6 months out from an expected rematch between Biden and Trump, the race to take the state of Georgia is in full swing. We're there for the fight for the battleground state. And
I went from being a stay-at-home mom one day to a restaurateur the next day.
They are the mother-daughter duo putting their community's cuisine on the national stage. We take you to Purple Patch for a look at how one chef is putting her heritage out there for customers to devour in our nation's capital. Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories and, of course, so much more, including the latest on the criminal hush money trial of former President Donald Trump, the bombastic testimony of Stormy Daniels, and how the Trump team looked to move on from the sordid details of his alleged tryst. Plus, Russia going on the offensive in Ukraine, the bombardment as Russia tries to break through Ukrainian defense lines and mount a surprise assault on the country as the U.S. announces more military aid to Ukraine. And $150 billion, that's how much the nation's millionaires and billionaires are evading in taxes. Tonight, we take a look at how by the numbers. But we are going to begin with more deadly storms. Now on the move, wind and lightning are taking aim across the Gulf and into the Carolinas as we come on the air. This week, more than 125 tornadoes reported across 22 states. More destructive storms blasting through the South overnight, like this hail and hurricane-force wind in Wimberley, Texas. Lightning strikes and more extreme wind in Tallahassee, taking down trees, causing widespread power outages. Local landmarks are unrecognizable after tornadoes hit there. The worst of the extreme weather barreling in early this morning in Leon County, Florida, killing one woman when a tree fell on her home. 3 tornadoes also reported in that area. After an unrelenting week of severe weather, Faith Abube starts us off tonight from hard-hit Tallahassee.
Tonight, a wall of violent storms hammering the South, leaving hundreds of thousands of families without power.
Oh, my God.
Gary Kyle Jr. and his wife Tammy caught in a radar-confirmed tornado near the Tallahassee airport. Their son calling to warn them.
Oh, pull over! Pull over!
He's trying to get us out of this
Baby,
area.
I was calling you. There's a tornado on the ground.
A web of wires and snapped power poles draped over neighborhoods in Tallahassee, from Florida State University's campus to the Arts District. Anna Edson McBride writing out the storm in her now damaged art gallery.
Loud. I mean, the noise is just really indescribable.
Traffic lights out across the city. Trees down everywhere, crashing through homes.
Oh, my God.
Leon County authorities say one woman was killed when a tree fell on her family's house. The storms barreling east from Texas, where straight-line winds gusted to hurricane strength outside Austin. The system dropping hailstones bigger than softballs. The storms, part of an epic weeks-long outbreak of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center confirming there's been at least one reported or confirmed tornado every day for the past 16 days.
Faith joins us now from Tallahassee. Faith, we can see behind you the damage there. What does the rest of the city look like right now?
Well, Phil, businesses here in the Arts District saw some of the worst damage. You can see behind me building after building with extensive damage to their roof. Power lines still dangling. Authorities say 11 electrical substations were damaged, and crews have been called in from as far away as Louisiana and Alabama to help. Phil?
Faith Abube from Tallahassee, Florida. Faith, thank you. We turn now to day 15 in former President Trump's criminal trial. In the Manhattan courtroom today, the prosecution laid the table for pivotal witness Michael Cohen to testify. Trump will come face to face with his then attorney and now nemesis as soon as Monday. And prosecutors say they could rest their case by late next week. Former federal prosecutor Tim Jansen will join us in just a moment to break some of this down. But first, the latest from ABC's Aaron Katersky.
After repeatedly ordering Donald Trump to stop publicly attacking witnesses, tonight Judge Juan Merchan warning the prosecution's star witness to stop publicly attacking Donald Trump. The warning directed at Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen, who brokered the hush money deal with porn actress Stormy Daniels. Cohen, who was expected to testify Monday, has been skewering Trump online, appearing on TikTok wearing a shirt showing Trump behind bars.
Trump 2024, more like Trump 20 to 24 years.
And telling anyone who will listen how excited he is to testify against his old boss.
I'm kind of looking forward to it because, again, can't be finished with something unless you start it, right?
Today, Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche asking Judge Merchan to put Cohen under a gag order the same way President Trump is, saying it's becoming a problem every single day that President Trump is not allowed to respond to this witness. Prosecutor Josh Steinglass insisting he has no control over Cohen, adding, "We had repeatedly asked the witnesses not to do that." Merchan said there would be no gag order, but he instructed prosecutors to communicate to Mr. Cohen that the judge is asking him to refrain from making any more statements about this case and to make it clear you are communicating that on behalf of the bench. Trump unsatisfied.
Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, but I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody.
But Trump's lawyers did notch a clear win today. The judge ruling prosecutors could not show the jury a 1999 video of Trump bragging about his knowledge of campaign finance laws.
I think nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
Prosecutors wanted to use it to show Trump would have known Cohen's hush money arrangement with Daniels amounted to an illegal campaign contribution. But the judge ruled that out, telling prosecutors you are asking the jurors to draw an inference that because Mr. Trump knew the laws in 1999, he knew them in 2016. That's a lot of speculation.
Aaron joins us now. Aaron, what are you anticipating from the prosecution as the trial resumes next week?
Phil, there is no overstating the importance of Michael Cohen's testimony to the prosecution's case. Cohen says he was in the room with Donald Trump talking about the hush money to Stormy Daniels that's at the center of the case. And then the cross-examination is just going to be brutal. But after that, prosecutors say they have only one witness left and could rest their case as soon as the end of next week. Phil?
All right, Aaron Katersky from New York City. Aaron, thank you. And as Aaron points out, we heard dramatic testimony from Stormy Daniels in recent days, but today was more subdued. For analysis of the latest out of the Manhattan courtroom, we're joined now by former federal prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Tim Jansen. Tim, thanks for coming on and breaking this down for us. Let's start here. Trump's former White House aide, Madeleine Westerhout, gave testimony today. How impactful do you think it was, and for which side?
Well, it was a necessary element that they had to prove, showing the checks, how the checks were signed, the bookkeeping. Those are menial, especially after Stormy Daniels testified. It's pretty boring stuff, but they needed to do it, and they're tying the knot to get to the crescendo. The crescendo is going to be obviously Michael Cohen.
Yeah, the state's presentation of phone logs, text messages, tweets. What was your impression of that?
Well, the tweets can be very good because jurors can see them. Phone logs, jurors get bored. They don't understand it until they get a really good witness that can tie the phones and the calls. But in here, you can tie the phone calls. And there's questions about one important phone call, whether part of that phone call was cut off that is favorable to the defense. Now, the defense is going to argue it was cut off, there's favorable material. Cohen's going to say, no, that was the end of the call. I got another call. So that is important in this case.
So in this age of very public trials, even though we don't have cameras, there's a lot of coverage of this. The state's star witness is expected to take the stand next week, as soon as Monday. What are you anticipating from Michael Cohen's testimony? And then, of course, as Aaron pointed out, what could be a very lively cross-examination?
Well, I think every defense lawyer would like to have a chance to cross-examine Michael Cohen. He's got every possible thing you can impeach him with. He's been found to be a serial liar, a perjurer. He's making money off Donald Trump. He hates Donald Trump. He's been on TikTok doing all this. And don't forget, he was Donald Trump's lawyer, and he was doing this legal work. And Donald Trump's defense may say, well, we relied on our lawyer. It's going to be questionable whether he's going to be subdued on the stand and how the cross-examination, because I think they better take a really small incremental steps when cross-examining him, because he's going to be looking for a way to give a jab back at Trump and the defense.
Yeah, I just saw it in your eyes. You put your criminal defense attorney hat on. You and every other criminal defense attorney would like to get a shot at that cross-examination, I'm sure. Tim Jansen, thanks so much for digging into that with us. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, there is a new U.S. report tonight that criticizes Israel's actions inside Gaza, saying it's, quote, reasonable to assess some U.S. weapons have been used in instances, quote, inconsistent with Israel's obligations under international law. And Israel-Hamas negotiations, will there be a ceasefire? Martha Raddatz now with late reporting.
Tonight, a new report finding Israel may have violated international humanitarian law in Gaza in its use of American-supplied weapons, but lacking enough information to officially make that conclusion, given the nature of the conflict in Gaza. The State Department report saying it is reasonable to assess that some U.S. weapons have been used in instances inconsistent with Israel's obligation under international law, adding that the high levels of civilian casualties caused by those weapons raises substantial questions as to whether the IDF is using them effectively in all cases. Those international laws require foreign governments to take steps to protect civilians and allow humanitarian aid into war zones. This comes as Israeli media reporting the War Cabinet has voted to expand operations in Rafah. The principal reason why President Biden is withholding weapons and threatening to withhold more. George Stephanopoulos speaking to Biden's national security advisor today.
Israel's ambassador to the United States has responded to President Biden's decision not to provide some offensive weapons that could be used in the Rafah invasion, saying it sends the wrong message to Hamas and puts Israel in a corner. How do you respond to that?
Nobody has been a stronger supporter of Israel than Joe Biden. He has sent an enormous amount of capability for Israel to take on Hamas.
What would happen if they went in?
Well, first, because there's 1 million people there in very close quarters who've been pushed there because of the military operations in other parts of Gaza, you would have really significant civilian casualties.
And Martha joins me now. Martha, with this debate over the full-scale invasion of Rafah, what's happened to those tense ceasefire talks?
Well, Phil, there was a moment of hope with those talks, but they have fully broken down. Hamas demanding a permanent ceasefire, Israel offering only a temporary one. And, of course, caught in the middle of all this, millions of Palestinian civilians and more than 100 Israeli hostages, including 5 Americans. Phil?
Still no end in sight. Martha, thank you. Next tonight, Russia opening a new assault on northern Ukraine. Is it the start of a major summer offensive? And the U.S. rushing a new shipment of weapons to Ukraine. Will it get there in time? ABC foreign correspondent James Longman.
Tonight, as the U.S. confirms a major new aid package to Ukraine, signs of a possible full-scale Russian offensive starting in the northeast of the country. New satellite images show the areas attacked in a Ukrainian town just 3 miles from the border. Russian forces have been massing on that border for weeks. But after a night of heavy bombardment, early this morning, armored vehicles attempted to punch through in the direction of Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. The city was almost occupied when Russia launched its invasion more than 2 years ago. And since then, it's been rocked by near-daily missile and drone attacks. There are now fears Russia is preparing to try to take it again, or at least gain a foothold in the region to make the city unlivable and draw Ukrainian defenders from elsewhere along the 600-mile eastern front. The Defense Ministry says reserves are now deployed to repel the advance, but that fierce fighting continues. Delays in much-needed aid from the West have allowed Russia to build up its forces and put significant pressure on Ukrainian positions. It comes as the Pentagon confirmed today that new $400 million aid package is on its way to Ukraine. It includes Patriot missiles, armored vehicles and Javelin anti-tank systems. We saw for ourselves the difference heavy weapons make on the battlefield.
James joins us now. James, what's the time frame for getting that important aid to Ukraine?
Yeah, Phil, as we all know, there's been a lot of delays in passing that aid package in Congress, and the administration has been trying to get ahead of this. Secretary Austin said today that they've been trying to build capacity in the region, places like Poland, to try to make sure that critical equipment can be there ready to go as soon as possible. So we anticipate days, possibly if not weeks, until that aid gets in. They've got to get it as soon as possible in order to try to stop this Russian summer offensive. Phil?
Yeah, for sure. Every moment counts. James, thank you. Now to some images we have not seen before. Newly released body camera video shows first responders racing to that collapsed bridge in Baltimore. Our Terry Moran shows us what the video reveals.
This is the moment a police marine unit first arrived on the scene of that deadly bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Key Bridge is down. There's last reported at least several vehicles in the water, with several people still unaccounted for.
You hear an officer shouting up to the crew on the Dolly, that massive cargo ship that brought the bridge down.
Is anybody hurt? Just a one cut to the fingers?
In the dark of night, rescuers desperately searching for 6 construction workers who were on that bridge when it plunged into the water. Just days after that catastrophic collapse, we got an up-close look at the wreckage.
Up close to it, you see the sheer scale and the violence of what happened here. How the bridge came down on the ship, destroying so much of the bow.
The new video comes just days after officials announced that the body of the 6th and final victim, Jose Minor Lopez, was recovered in the wreckage.
And Terry joins us now. Terry, what's the latest on any financial help for the victims?
Well, Phil, this was a huge concern, obviously, for the families, but also for that community. And Maryland state lawmakers stepped up. They passed legislation to provide substantial financial help to the families of those 6 men, the construction workers who went down when the bridge collapsed. And nonprofit groups and churches have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars more. Phil?
All right, Terry Moran from D.C. Terry, thank you. After an hours-long school meeting today, the Shenandoah, Virginia County School Board voted to restore the names of 3 Confederate officers to schools in that district. The vote reversed a decision made 4 years ago by that same school board after the killing of George Floyd. At that time, they decided not to honor Civil War leaders who enslaved people. But now the board has voted 5-1 to reinstate the previous names, Stonewall Jackson High School and Ashby Lee Elementary. The resolution approved by the school board states that private donations will be used to pay for the name changes. And we are learning more details about the scathing accusations by Miss USA from her leaked resignation letter. Noelia Voigt stepped down this week, saying there was a toxic work environment within the Miss USA organization, marked by, quote, poor management and, at worst, bullying and harassment. The organization responded by saying, in part, that it is, quote, committed to fostering a healthy, communicative, and supportive environment. A rare, if slightly unsettling, phenomenon will storm across America tonight. For the first time in nearly 20 years, the National Weather Service predicts a geomagnetic storm is headed to Earth. These storms of charged particles can cause power and satellite signal outages, but also a spectacular light show in the sky. We get details from ABC's Alex Perez.
Tonight, millions of Americans across the upper U.S. will potentially see the northern lights thanks to a severe solar storm. NOAA issuing this rare watch for the first time in nearly 20 years. A geomagnetic storm so strong it could possibly threaten communications and power grids here on Earth. Solar flares triggering spectacular displays of the aurora borealis, potentially as far south as Alabama. The first solar flares erupting Wednesday morning, directed towards Earth from the sun's corona, visible from Earth only during a total solar eclipse. The cosmic phenomenon Americans across the country stopped to witness just a little over a month ago. Astrophysicists warn the impact of this storm, a 4 on a scale of 1 to 5, could have an effect right here on Earth, potentially disrupting communications, the power grid, radio signals, and GPS and other satellite operations.
Geomagnetic storm, even a severe one, may not be all that troubling. But if we're not built to take it, then it could cause big problems.
And Phil, this solar activity could continue through the weekend. Cloud coverage in the northeast and here in parts of the Great Lakes could keep us from seeing the northern lights tonight. But if you're anywhere from Washington State all the way to Wisconsin, you could have a good chance. The best opportunities will be between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. this weekend. Phil?
All right, Alex Perez, thank you. 50 years after its original release, we are getting a new look at the Beatles' Let It Be. A new music video shows John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr all performing the song in the studio, among other things. That video featuring clips from the restored 1970 documentary, also called Let It Be, which is now streaming on Disney+. Very cool. Still much more to get to here tonight on Prime. Apple's ad promoting its newest iPad has a lot of creative people angry, including photographers, artists, musicians. We're going to tell you why. But next, with 6 months before the election, all eyes are on the battleground state of Georgia. Rachel Scott takes the pulse of voters there.
What I'm hearing is, what has Biden done for the country? What has Biden done for black people? What has Biden done for the economy?
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland, from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home? We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City.
Splintered houses and splintered lives. The magnitude of the devastation.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Raleigh, North Carolina, the U.S. Capitol,
Mayfield, Kentucky,
Minneapolis, Mexico, Tongass National Forest, Alaska.
Getting you behind the stories as they happen, giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live. Streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
Drugs like Ozempic. So many people are using them or want to use them. If you're on these drugs, what should you eat to get the protein you need? How can they help with your heart health? And what's the best plan after hitting your goal weight? Next week, GMA with the science behind it all for you.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead! Tag on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
They call him the Beauty Queen Killer. He's targeting young women in malls.
I am single. I want to enjoy the company of a member of women.
He tortured me.
How did she survive 9 days of terror?
The word accomplice came up. Nobody knows the real story.
The Beauty Queen Killer, only on Hulu. Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here. From the team that brought you the DuPont Award-winning report, a groundbreaking new investigation spanning 9,000 miles, trashed the secret life of plastic exports. Stream free on Hulu.
Welcome back. With the November election now less than 6 months away, ABC News senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott traveled to battleground Georgia to talk to voters across the political spectrum about how they feel about the candidates and where they stand on some of the key issues driving this presidential campaign. Here's Rachel with tonight's Prime Focus.
Folks, the people of this nation have spoken.
Joe Biden's upset victory in Georgia 4 years ago broke a nearly 30-year losing streak for Democratic presidential candidates in the state. But his win also sparked then-President Donald Trump's attack against the election itself. The votes cast in Georgia's 2020 presidential race were counted 3 separate times, and top Republican officials have stood by the outcome, even as Trump continues to falsely claim he won. Now, 6 months out from an anticipated Biden-Trump rematch, the race to secure Georgia's 16 electoral votes is in full swing.
With your vote, we are going to win the state of Georgia in an epic landslide.
All of you here today, you know, you're the reason why we're going to win.
While there are many issues animating voters in the state,
to me, our financial situation is huge.
My most important issue is student loan coverage.
Closing the border.
2020 election denial still looms over the 2024 race in Georgia, where Trump has pleaded not guilty to 10 criminal counts over his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 results there. But Biden's lackluster approval and charges he hasn't lived up to his campaign promises call into question whether he can reassemble the coalition that delivered him his slimmest margin of victory over Trump 4 years ago. Polling suggests it will be an uphill battle for Biden, with Trump leading by an average of 6 points in a head-to-head matchup.
Oh, there's no question that this is going to be a close election.
Senator Raphael Warnock, who has been on the ballot 5 times over 2 years, knows his state's voters well.
I would urge him to do what we're doing, and that is to keep telling the story about the work that we are doing. The other side doesn't have anything to talk about.
To win in November, Biden needs to turn out voters, especially black voters, and Metro Atlanta's Democratic strongholds. Places like Fulton County, home to Cascade Skating Roller Rink, a mainstay in Atlanta's black community. For owner Greg Alexander, an Air Force veteran, Biden is the clear choice.
I cannot, in good conscience, support Donald Trump.
But he says the president needs to do a better job at selling his record.
What I'm hearing is, what has Biden done for the country? What has Biden done for black people? What has Biden done for the economy? I think if he's going to be successful this go-round, he has to really focus on getting the word out on this is what I've done, this is what I stand for.
But not everyone at Cascade is sold on Biden. Navy veteran Bucky Bassett is still undecided.
What frustrates you most with President Biden?
I don't like to be pandered to. I don't like anyone to tell me who I should vote for. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, the Democratic Party at times does do that.
Do you believe that President Biden and the Democratic Party take black voters for granted?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
Bucky says he may sit out this election altogether, and he's not alone. A January poll from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution found that 1 in 10 black voters in the state say they don't plan to vote this November.
Could that significantly hurt the president?
I think that Georgia voters, black voters included, are going to show up for Joe Biden the same way they showed up for me. Not to vote is to vote. It is to push Donald Trump a little bit closer to the White House, and that is a dangerous proposition.
Hello, Georgia.
But a Trump victory is exactly what several Georgia voters we spoke to are hoping for.
I'm throwing my full support behind Donald Trump.
At Thomas Barbershop in the affluent Buckhead neighborhood of Atlanta, they're always talking politics.
You know what I love about a good barbershop is nothing's really off the table.
Everything's wide open in here. If you want to bring it, bring it. You want to say it, say it.
Tommy Thomas owns the shop his father first opened 65 years ago. The shop's decor should leave no question about who he's backing this November.
I'm going with Trump all the way. He's my man.
Do you think that Trump can win this state again?
I think if people look at their pocketbooks, I think they're going to change their mind this time.
But support for Trump is not as strong among all of Tommy's clients.
Well, I'm a reluctant Trump supporter. I think any one of the other final Republican candidates could have been almost a shoo-in in this election.
Do you think Trump is a shoo-in this election?
No, I think it's going to be a battle all the way to the end.
To retake the state, Trump will also have to win back voters who supported his rivals. Voters like Lynn Dickens, a self-described big Nikki Haley supporter.
Her leadership style to me was very appealing because it was positive in nature and it didn't really look to demean or take people down.
Lynn supported Trump in 2020, but this time she says his priorities are off.
I feel like there's just so much drama associated with him at the moment, and I'm not convinced that he is necessarily focused on the issues at hand right now.
Out in Rockmart, just over an hour outside Atlanta, a much different sentiment.
Who will you be supporting in November?
I will be supporting President Trump.
Like the city's congressional representative Marjorie Taylor Greene,
we're going to re-elect our favorite president.
People I spoke to here in Polk County, where Trump earned 78% of the vote in 2020, are still firmly behind the former president.
I like his vibe.
Bill Sportiello owns local bar and grill The Rails at Rockmart. He says life was better for him under the Trump administration, and he's not put off by Trump's criminal charges.
Does any of that give you any pause or hesitation about supporting him?
No, I'm a businessman myself. And I feel it's more of a witch hunt than anything else.
At The Rails, we also met Sharon Capes. She cites immigration as her top issue and says Biden has failed to control the border.
I think if I could give him like -0, I would.
Her support for the former president is unwavering.
I think the legal woes actually make me push more for him.
It's built your support even more.
Yes, 100%.
Would you still support Trump if he was convicted of a crime?
Absolutely.
No questions asked?
No questions asked. No questions asked. I would bail him out if I could afford it.
Sharon believes Trump's false claims that the last election was stolen.
What will get you to actually have trust in the November election, in the system?
I guess if Trump wins, I would probably have trust in it again.
Gabriel Sterling, the chief operations officer in the Georgia Secretary of State's office, says that position undermines American democracy.
What happens if he wins Georgia but loses the country? Do you accept it then? What happens if he loses Georgia but wins the country? Do you accept it then? I mean, you can't base your belief in the outcome based on whether your side wins or not. That's just not logical.
A lifelong Republican, Sterling supported Trump in 2020. But when Trump refused to accept that he lost, he became one of the loudest voices defending Georgia's election. His plea to voters this cycle: have faith in the system.
Anybody saying, I feel safe about my vote here, but I don't know about those guys over there, we do know about those guys over there. It's a little bit different, but it's safe and secure everywhere in America.
Rachel Scott from Georgia tonight. Rachel, thank you. There is still more to get to tonight. Coming up, May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and with Mother's Day this weekend, that has one chef in our nation's capital paying homage to her mom by serving up her best dishes from the Philippines. But next, the head of the IRS admitting the very rich are not paying their fair share of taxes. How the IRS is cracking down.
Whenever news breaks,
we are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there.
You're streaming.
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight. Police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about, the migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, Edinburgh, Scotland. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights wherever you stream your news. Only on ABC News Live.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
This is not about parents who just let their kid watch violent movies, play violent video games. This is about parents who neglected their son, ignored his cries for help, then bought him a gun.
The first parents in America to be charged in a school shooting.
They purchased that gun for him and bragged about it.
You don't get to walk away from that. That's a criminal act.
Sins of the parents, the Crumbly Trials.
The opposite of love is not hate. It's just being ignored.
Only on Hulu.
Here's to Good Mornings in America.
Can you feel the love?
Oh, yeah. Mornings that inspire, filled with hope, kindness, joyous surprises, and so much fun.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Start your day with Good Morning America's Ray of Sunshine, highlighting the best of America and helping
make dreams come true.
Wow.
I'm just so happy. It's so good.
Get ready to smile and put the good into your morning, America, because
you know what will make the morning better? A little ray of sunshine.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. Tax season just ended, so given the annual national tradition of unfurling receipts and squinting at those numbered forms, we wanted to know, is the complicated tax system even fair? You might not like the answer when we take a look by the numbers. The nation's millionaires and billionaires are evading the tax system and making the system unfair to the tune of more than $150 billion. That is according to the head of the Internal Revenue Service, Commissioner Werfel. The commissioner told CNBC that wealthy individuals and companies have been getting away with underpaying for a decade. Among taxpayers making more than $1 million a year, audits actually fell by more than 80% over the last decade. That's due in part to them hiring armies of accountants to file returns so complicated that they're actually difficult to audit. The number of taxpayers making more than $1 million a year actually jumped 50% in that time period. But now the IRS says it is launching new programs to crack down on those not filing or underreporting their income that will result in $561 billion in revenue over the next decade. And they've already found, they say, 1,600 millionaires who owe at least $250,000 in taxes, and they're still going. The IRS commissioner says they're even using artificial intelligence to find tax evaders and do have a new program that analyzes private jet ownership. But he admits there is plenty of work yet to do and says that his agency has for years been starved of funding for those important audits. And much more ahead here on Prime. Superstar actor Eric Bana is here in studio. He has starred in blockbusters like The Hulk and Star Trek, to name a few. But for his latest feature, he didn't need to travel far from his Melbourne, Australia home. And next, officials in Oakland voting to change the name of their airport. So then why is San Francisco across the bay filing a lawsuit in response?
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our Combat Operations Center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it.
How important is this label right here, Made in the USA? Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you, David. Good to meet you. Ismail? David.
David.
Yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are.
You
I watch
do?
you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Hi, I'm Andy. And I'm Sabrina. And we're moms, juggling tons of stuff every day, like all you moms out there. And you know what we love? Really love? Pop culture. So what happens when being obsessed with pop culture collides with being a mom? You get us. So listen now to our new podcast, Pop Culture Moms, wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dead ahead. Hang on!
We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
They call him the Beauty Queen Killer. He's targeting young women in malls.
I am single. I want to enjoy the company of a member of women.
He tortured me.
How did she survive 9 days of terror?
The word accomplice came up.
Nobody knows the real story.
The Beauty Queen Killer. Only on Hulu. Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
Wherever you get your podcasts, Start Here.
Next week, look who's waking up with
Good Morning America.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, David Beckham Live, the cast of Bridgerton, and John Oates with Michael Strahan on GMA.
Welcome back. Apple is making some enemies with its new iPad commercial. Oakland approves changing the name of its airport, angering officials in San Francisco. And just in time for Mother's Day, quintuplets graduate from the same university, making mom proud. These stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
Tech giant Apple has apologized for a new ad announcing the launch of the company's latest iPad. The ad features a large hydraulic slab crushing a variety of creative tools like a guitar and a piano. Social media users pointed out the destruction of the objects sent the wrong message in that the iPad can replace them all. Apple said the video missed the mark and will not air the ad on television as planned. Officials in Oakland voted to approve a name change for the city's airport to San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport. The new name's causing a stir in San Francisco, which has filed a trademark lawsuit claiming it infringes on the city's San Francisco International Airport. Oakland has countersued, claiming the existing trademark does not include the phrase San Francisco Bay. Rescue teams in Salt Lake County, Utah have reached the bodies of 2 skiers who died in an avalanche in the Wasatch Mountains Thursday. After initially giving up on recovery efforts because of snow and dangerous conditions, attempts to get to them, aged 23 and 32, were successful. The 2 skiers were completely buried by the avalanche, which was several feet deep and a couple hundred feet wide. A 3rd skier was able to dig himself out safely. A 45-year-old from Kansas admitted to helping steal a Jackie Robinson statue from a local park. Authorities say the statue was cut off at the ankles and dragged away. Police later found it had been set on fire and taken apart before being put in a trash can. The suspect is set to be sentenced in July. 5 siblings are set to graduate from Montclair University next week. The school says they believe it's the first time ever that quintuplets will graduate simultaneously from a higher ed institution in New Jersey. The Pavolo siblings pursued a variety of studies, including political science, business administration, and food science. With Mother's Day right around the corner, all of them credit their parents for supporting their individual interests. Former University of Iowa College star Caitlin Clark made her Indiana WNBA debut last night. The Indiana Fever defeated the Atlanta Dream in Indianapolis 83-80. Clark's hometown debut was met with roaring cheers from fans waiting to catch their first glimpse of the new superstar. Clark was selected first overall in the WNBA draft and holds the record for the most points in a Division I basketball career.
The 2017 novel Force of Nature by Jane Harper transitioned to the big screen in 2020 with The Dry, one of the highest-grossing Australian films of all time. Now, the thrilling mystery saga returns with a sequel of sorts, Force of Nature, The Dry 2, starring Eric Bana, the Australian actor reprising his role of federal agent Aaron Falk. But this time, Bana steps into a winding mystery, investigating a company hiking retreat that goes very wrong. Take a look.
This is your last chance. There's a massive storm coming. It's going to engulf the whole search area. So you need to help me now, while we can still find Alice alive.
Eric joins us now in studio. Thanks so much for taking the time. We do appreciate it. Finished the movie this morning. It's fantastic. I'm wondering what it's like. You know, the first one was so successful, and now comes the second. What's it like to grow with that character from one to the other?
Oh, it was amazing. I've never had that position before of reprising a role or doing something twice. So initially it felt like almost like a cheat, but it was wonderful. And Jane Harper writes these characters so well, and was just really excited to get the chance to do a second one.
And I think just quickly, our viewers should know, I was talking to you beforehand, and I have not seen the first one, but I saw the second one, and you said something interesting to me, that it's okay and may even be a cool way to watch them.
Yeah, they're both very much standalone films, and in fact, the way that we use flashbacks in both films, I think you could definitely watch them in reverse order, and in some ways you might even be better off watching Force of Nature first and then going to The Dry if you haven't seen it.
Interesting. Well, I look forward to doing that. It is a great way to tell a story, going back and forth from the flashbacks. This movie is deep. It can be dark at times, and it involves, you don't even know what kind of mystery you're watching for quite some time. Was that one of the things that drew you to the script?
Yeah, look, like audience members, I love a whodunit, I love a thriller. In this case, we have 5 women who go on a corporate retreat, a team-building exercise, who get lost in the bush, in the deep, thick Australian bush in the middle of winter, and one of these women is my informant. So it's a great whodunit, but it's also a bit of a survival story as well.
Absolutely. And the scenery. This was shot in subtropical jungle in Victoria, in the southeast of Australia, right?
Yes.
What was it like to shoot there? And it's such beautiful scenery. I'm wondering if where it's shot sort of becomes a character in and of itself.
Absolutely. So Jane Harper, our author, really uses landscape and place as a central character, and it actually adds to the drama both physically and mentally. But we shot this a couple hours out of my hometown, out of Melbourne, in the forest, and it's fun for us to take a film like this to the international audience and show what the Australian bush is like. It might be quite different to how you imagine the Australian landscape.
Yeah, and I can see that she likes that, because there are points in the movie where you go back to the same spot.
Yes.
And that evokes memory from the viewer as well. You've starred in American blockbusters. People know you from The Hulk, Troy, Munich, Star Trek, all the way back to Black Hawk Down. I mean, now you come back home and you can do this in your own accent.
Yeah.
Is that cool to be able to do that finally?
Well, I'll tell you what it does make me realise. It makes me realise how incredibly lucky British and American actors are to just turn up to work and do their own accent all the time. I'm very, very jealous. Yeah, it becomes part of our package as Australian actors. You just have to be able to do accents, but when we go home and work on our own films, it is quite relaxing for us, no doubt.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an awesome accent. So everybody here in America loves the accent. You're a producer on the film, and, well, first of all, tell all the Americans here what The Dry is. I guess we should know that.
So The Dry was Jane Harper's first novel, and it's a crime thriller as well about Aaron Falk. I'm a federal agent, and I go back to my hometown to attend a funeral, and then things transpire while I'm there, and I end up getting lured into an investigation. But it's a quite intense whodunit again.
Right.
We're in that genre.
And The Dry means?
It's referencing the fact that the town that it's set in is deep into drought, and it was for real. So we shot that around 2018, the peak of the Australian drought. The country towns that we shot in had no drinking water. The water would be trucked in, and the locals would come. So it really adds to the drama, because you can feel it when you're there. It's like it adds to the tension and the stress that the inhabitants are under.
You have this spectacular resume and career. I would imagine people come at you with projects all the time. Yet it seems like you choose very carefully, maybe even one a year. Do you do that on purpose?
Yeah, I don't think it's that easy to find great material. So whatever my cadence is, I think it's probably reflective of how long it takes me to find stuff that I fall in love with. And the truth is, I can't be talked into a project, so I just keep reading until I find something I love, and then that's my next go. Yeah,
Can't
absolutely.
Talk you into it.
No.
People have tried.
Occasionally, but I'm very fortunate. I love working on different kinds of films, different kind of roles, and pinch myself every day. It's a great job.
Yeah. Well, this is a great one. Thank you for it. Eric Bana, thanks so much for stopping by. Force of Nature, The Dry 2, is now playing in theaters and available everywhere you rent movies. Meantime, a restaurant in the heart of Washington, D.C. has been serving up dishes from the Philippines for the past decade to critical acclaim. And as we head into Mother's Day, we meet the chef who gives credit to her mom for her restaurant's success. Here is our Christian Cordero with a chef's kiss to one family's culinary heritage.
This will forever be a Filipino restaurant in the nation's capital. Look at this. This is short rib adobo.
Patrice Cleary is a self-taught chef, a mother, a daughter, a former Marine, and a first-generation Filipino-American.
Adobo is a very traditional Filipino dish.
Much of her story sits in this 4-story building.
I was able to introduce my food that I grew up on, that I loved, to people that may have never had it, but also people from the diaspora that missed it and wanted it.
Among those who've discovered Purple Patch are some notable Washingtonians, helping to bring Filipino food to prominence and elevating Patrice's stature as a pioneer in her industry. Patrice opened Purple Patch in Washington, D.C. in 2015, and since then, the dining room has expanded to fit more than 200 tables inside and out.
This is our vecina Montos.
With one very important regular.
You've been here before?
Making her rounds.
Oh, I hope you guys like it, the food.
Daily.
She just kind of is that motherly figure here.
So everybody called me Alice, Mama Alice.
Yeah. Mama may as well be your first name.
Yeah.
Mama Alice is Patrice's mom, born and raised in the Philippines. Patrice was an infant when her dad, a U.S. Marine, moved their family to military bases around the country and overseas. She grew up in the kitchen, fluent in its mechanics and its purpose of bringing people together. This kitchen is connected to the dishes from home. What about you made you want to share it with other people?
I was crazy. Anybody that opens up a restaurant has to be borderline crazy. I went from being a stay-at-home mom one day to a restaurateur the next day.
Within months, Purple Patch was recommended by the Washington Post's food critic and found early success. It's in the name, after all. A nod to its fusion roots, Purple Patch is a British phrase meaning a period of great success. It's also the color of the famous sweet potato known as ube.
Look at the ice cream.
Patrice's menu is vast. She wants it to be approachable for everyone.
I feel like I make dishes that entice people to want to try it. I love food. I get lost in my kitchen. Whether it's here or when I go home, I'm still cooking. I could never get tired of it.
Before Purple Patch reached its 5th year, everything changed. COVID-19 was declared a national emergency. Patrice's Filipino food haven became a food kitchen of sorts. She opened her doors to local families whose next meal was suddenly uncertain, handing out bags of takeout free of charge.
We probably did over 8,000 meals, free meals, from 10 to 1. It could be pancakes and waffles and lumpia and pancit and juice boxes.
Patrice found a way to keep her doors open, her staff employed, and her family's recipes on the menu. What are some of your earliest memories of this dish?
Long summers on a pier on my belly with chicken necks, right?
Fishing for the crabs are the earliest memories.
Fishing for the crabs.
Ginatang alimasag is one of her favorite meals ever. Crabs stewed in coconut milk with ginger and kale and served over rice. It's a dish native to the region where Mama Alice was raised. But by far the most popular menu item are these highly addictive, crunchy, cigar-shaped appetizers. Lumpia is made of ground pork and beef, a bit of carrot and spices, rolled up into layers of ultra-thin wrapper, then deep-fried until cooked thoroughly.
And two sayurito lumpias with the mac and cheese.
It's not hyperbole to say food is the common love language here.
It's great.
And Mama Alice brought that love with her when she came to the U.S. in 1975.
I had to do it for my kids.
Now a mother herself, Patrice was too young at the time to remember her family making this decision. But it's one she'll never forget.
Perfect! I've taken everything that she's given me to build a future for my family, for my kids. And it would have never started if she didn't kind of take that leap of faith.
In 2021, Patrice was afforded the opportunity to buy her restaurant's building.
You have 2 generations cooking for you.
From the foundation up, Purple Patch is entirely in Patrice's name.
We don't even own residential real estate, but we own commercial real estate. This is a dream.
A dream that's brought Patrice through the darkest chapter in the restaurant industry's history, deeper into her immediate community.
I just wanted to say I love your restaurant.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And perhaps most profoundly, standing shoulder to shoulder with her mom.
It's so good. So good.
Cooking a meal they love in a kitchen they own.
I own a Filipino restaurant, and I'm learning so much from my own people. And I'm giving back just as much as they're giving to me. Without you and your sacrifices, this restaurant wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here having this conversation, and this wouldn't be here for all of the people that are our people. So I just want to say thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you, and I love you.
I love it. Thank you.
Our thanks to Cristiano. What a beautiful story, and perfect just ahead of Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. And that's our show for this hour. I'm Phil Lipoff. Stay with ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. And thanks so much for streaming with us.
Every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. It's time to buy the right stuff and save big time, too.
The Right Stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Shohei Ohtani, legends of the game. But now the list of greats redefined. From ABC News, Reclaim the Forgotten League, a side of the story of baseball you have never heard before like this. The award-winning podcast is back. Listen wherever you get your podcasts or scan the QR codes you see here.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
We're still in a flash flood warning. To catch you up with what happened overnight, police in riot gear arresting dozens of protesters.
What's happening today? Escalating tensions in the Middle East.
What people are talking about, the migrant crisis.
Fast, straightforward,
with some fun in between.
Check out the Gator on the 17th hole.
The buzzkill in baseball.
First thing in the morning.
America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
Here's to Good Mornings in America.
Can you feel the love? Oh, yeah.
Mornings that inspire, filled with hope, kindness, joyous surprises, and so much fun.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Start your day with Good Morning America's Ray of Sunshine, highlighting the best of America and helping
make dreams come true. Wow. I'm just so happy. It's so good.
Get ready to smile and put the good into your morning, America, because
you know what will make the morning better? A little ray of sunshine.
Whenever, wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo,
Uvalde, Texas,
Edinburgh, Scotland.
from Poland once again tonight. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw.
Do you think you'll ever be able to go back home?
We're heading to a small community outside of Mexico City.
Splintered houses and splintered lives.
The magnitude of the devastation. You're streaming ABC News Live. Reporting from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Raleigh, North Carolina.
The U.S. Capitol.
Mayfield, Kentucky. Minneapolis.
Mexico.
Tongass National Forest, Alaska. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. Giving you a front row seat to our world as it plays out in real time, live.
ABC News Live Prime.
We'll take you there.
Stream ABC News Live weeknights, America's most honored streaming news program, only on ABC News Live, streaming free right now wherever you stream your news.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
That sounds pretty good.
Your health, your money, breaking news, music, and of course, good food. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, Afternoons.
For everything you need to know.
I love that.
Israel, Hamas, Gaza, Trump's legal battles, plus George in the hot seat, facing all the questions from Martha on his new book, Sunday morning on ABC's This Week.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
An operation to capture ISIS fighters.
Is this our combat operations center?
We're approaching the gate now. Militants came in from 4 or 5 different directions.
Operational nuclear reactor.
So you have a couple loaded and ready to go. The house is destroyed, but the flag, there's not a tear in it.
Not a tear in it. How important is this label right here, Made in the USA?
Look at your smile. You're proud of this.
I love this.
Great work.
Hi.
Where are you? Where are you?
Appreciate you.
Thank you, David. Good to meet you.
Ismail? David.
David.
Yes. I'm David Muir.
I know who you are. I watch you every night.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Good evening. I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following a lot of news tonight, including powerful storms. Over 100 tornadoes and more hit parts of the country with deadly results. The latest on the ground as millions of Americans find themselves under severe weather threat as those already hit hard try to pick up the pieces and soldier on. Plus, Russia going on the offensive in Ukraine. The bombardment as Russia tries to break through Ukrainian defense lines and mount a surprise assault on the country as the U.S. announces more military aid to Ukraine. And we go to Nigeria, where the Sussexes, Prince Harry and Meghan, are traveling to highlight the country's efforts to rehabilitate injured soldiers as they bid to host the Invictus Games. What else is on their itinerary? But we are going to begin with more deadly storms on the move across the Gulf and into the Carolinas. More than 125 tornadoes reported across 22 states this week alone. Destructive storms blasting through the South overnight, like this hail and hurricane-force wind in Wimberley, Texas. Lightning strikes and extreme wind in Tallahassee, taking down trees and causing widespread power outages. Extreme weather. 3 reported tornadoes barreling in early this morning in Leon County, Florida, killing 1 woman when a tree fell on her family home. After an unrelenting week of severe weather, Faith Abube starts us off from hard-hit Tallahassee.
Tonight, a wall of violent storms hammering the South, leaving hundreds of thousands of families without power.
Oh, my God.
Gary Kyle Jr. and his wife Tammy caught in a radar-confirmed tornado near the Tallahassee airport. Their son calling to warn them.
Oh, pull over! Pull over! Just trying to get us out of this area. I was calling you. There's a tornado on the ground.
A web of wires and snapped power poles draped over neighborhoods in Tallahassee, from Florida State University's campus to the Arts District. Anna Edson McBride writing out the storm in her now damaged art gallery.
Loud. I mean, the noise is just really indescribable.
Traffic lights out across the city. Trees down everywhere, crashing through homes.
Oh my gosh.
Leon County authorities say 1 woman was killed when a tree fell on her family's house. The storms barreling east from Texas, where straight-line winds gusted to hurricane strength outside Austin. The system dropping hailstones bigger than softballs. The storms, part of an epic weeks-long outbreak of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center confirming there's been at least 1 reported or confirmed tornado every day for the past 16 days.
Faith Abube from Tallahassee tonight. Faith, thank you. We're going to turn now to the new warning tonight from the judge in Donald Trump's criminal trial. This time, the warning is not aimed at the former president, but rather at Michael Cohen, Trump's one-time lawyer and fixer, who is now set to take the stand. Aaron Katersky with the latest from the trial.
After repeatedly ordering Donald Trump to stop publicly attacking witnesses, tonight Judge Juan Merchan warning the prosecution's star witness to stop publicly attacking Donald Trump. The warning directed at Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen, who brokered the hush money deal with porn actress Stormy Daniels. Cohen, who was expected to testify Monday, has been skewering Trump online, appearing on TikTok wearing a shirt showing Trump behind bars.
Trump 2024, more like Trump 20 to 24 years.
And telling anyone who will listen how excited he is to testify against his old boss.
I'm kind of looking forward to it because, again, can't be finished with something unless you start it, right?
Today, Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche asking Judge Merchan to put Cohen under a gag order the same way President Trump is, saying it's becoming a problem every single day that President Trump is not allowed to respond to this witness. Prosecutor Josh Steinglass insisting he has no control over Cohen, adding, "We had repeatedly asked the witnesses not to do that." Merchan said there would be no gag order, but he instructed prosecutors to communicate to Mr. Cohen that the judge is asking him to refrain from making any more statements about this case and to make it clear you are communicating that on behalf of the bench. Trump unsatisfied.
Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, but I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody.
But Trump's lawyers did notch a clear win today. The judge ruling prosecutors could not show the jury a 1999 video of Trump bragging about his knowledge of campaign finance laws.
I think nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
Prosecutors wanted to use it to show Trump would have known Cohen's hush money arrangement with Daniels amounted to an illegal campaign contribution. But the judge ruled that out, telling prosecutors you are asking the jurors to draw an inference that because Mr. Trump knew the laws in 1999, he knew them in 2016. That's a lot of speculation.
Our thanks to Aaron Katersky. And there is a new U.S. report out tonight that criticizes Israel's actions inside Gaza, saying it's, quote, reasonable to assess some U.S. weapons have been used in instances inconsistent with Israel's obligations under international law. And Israel-Hamas negotiations, will there be a ceasefire? Martha Raddatz with late reporting.
Tonight, a new report finding Israel may have violated international humanitarian law in Gaza in its use of American-supplied weapons, but lacking enough information to officially make that conclusion, given the nature of the conflict in Gaza. The State Department report saying it is reasonable to assess that some U.S. weapons have been used in instances inconsistent with Israel's obligation under international law, adding that the high levels of civilian casualties caused by those weapons raises substantial questions as to whether the IDF is using them effectively in all cases. Those international laws require foreign governments to take steps to protect civilians and allow humanitarian aid into war zones. This comes as Israeli media reporting the War Cabinet has voted to expand operations in Rafah. The principal reason why President Biden is withholding weapons and threatening to withhold more. George Stephanopoulos speaking to Biden's national security advisor today.
Israel's ambassador to the United States has responded to President Biden's decision not to provide some offensive weapons that could be used in the Rafah invasion, saying it sends the wrong message to Hamas and puts Israel in a corner. How do you respond to that?
Nobody has been a stronger supporter of Israel than Joe Biden. He has sent an enormous amount of capability for Israel to take on Hamas.
What would happen if they went in?
Well, first, because there's 1 million people there in very close quarters who've been pushed there because of the military operations in other parts of Gaza, you would have really significant civilian casualties.
Our thanks to Martha Raddatz tonight. And next, Russia opening a new assault on northern Ukraine. Is it the start of a major summer offensive? And the U.S. rushing a new shipment of weapons to Ukraine. Will it get there in time? ABC foreign correspondent James Longman.
Tonight, as the U.S. confirms a major new aid package to Ukraine, signs of a possible full-scale Russian offensive starting in the northeast of the country. New satellite images show the areas attacked in a Ukrainian town just 3 miles from the border. Russian forces have been massing on that border for weeks. But after a night of heavy bombardment, early this morning, armoured vehicles attempted to punch through in the direction of Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. The city was almost occupied when Russia launched its invasion more than 2 years ago. And since then, it's been rocked by near-daily missile and drone attacks. There are now fears Russia is preparing to try to take it again, or at least gain a foothold in the region to make the city unlivable and draw Ukrainian defenders from elsewhere along the 600-mile eastern front. The Defense Ministry says reserves are now deployed to repel the advance, but that fierce fighting continues. Delays in much-needed aid from the West have allowed Russia to build up its forces and put significant pressure on Ukrainian positions. It comes as the Pentagon confirmed today that new $400 million aid package is on its way to Ukraine. It includes Patriot missiles, armored vehicles and Javelin anti-tank systems. We saw for ourselves the difference heavy weapons make on the battlefield.
Foreign correspondent James Longman tonight. An unusually strong solar storm hitting Earth could produce northern lights in the U.S. this weekend, potentially disrupting power and communications. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration issued a rare severe geomagnetic storm warning when a solar outburst reached Earth this afternoon, hours sooner than anticipated. The storm could produce northern lights as far south as Alabama and northern California. NOAA ranks this storm a 4 on its scale of 1 to 5, posing a risk for high voltage transmission lines for power grids, not the electrical lines ordinarily found in people's homes. A military mom whose daughter is following in her footsteps, the two spending Mother's Day deployed together. World News Tonight anchor David Muir with their story.
Tonight, on this Mother's Day weekend, a mother and daughter grateful to be marking it together. Senior Master Sergeant Jennifer Decoux on the left and her daughter, Senior Airman Jenica Decoux, both serving in the Air National Guard, and tonight, both currently deployed in Japan. This is mother and daughter when mom returned home from a deployment 15 years ago, when Jenica was just 6. In her mother's arms there and growing up determined to follow in her footsteps. When Jenica turned 18, she enlisted, now serving in the 114th Fighter Wing of the South Dakota Air National Guard with her mother, the Senior Master Sergeant. Military service has been in their family for generations. Tonight, mother and daughter continuing the family tradition. The mom, Jennifer, a mother of 3, the family back home in Lenox, South Dakota, watching right outside Sioux Falls, sending them off on deployment just last month. And right here tonight,
hi, David, from Kadena Air Force Base, Japan.
Mother and daughter, Senior Master Sergeant Decoux and Senior Airman Decoux.
We are the first mother-daughter duo to be deployed with our unit as part of our fighter aviation package.
We are so grateful to be deployed alongside one another for this Mother's Day.
Tonight, both proudly serving and both with a message for all moms on Mother's Day.
We wanted to wish every other mother out there a happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Indeed, and our thanks to David Muir for that. Still much more to get to tonight. You wear the sneakers that bear his name and his face. Tennis legend Stan Smith and director Danny Lee are here to discuss the new film, Who is Stan Smith?
Drugs like Ozempic. So many people are using them or want to use them. If you're on these drugs, what should you eat to get the protein you need? How can they help with your heart health? And what's the best plan after hitting your goal weight? Next week, GMA with the science behind it all for you.
Let's go.
The ship is incredible. It feels like living in a science fiction movie.
We just saw what no one has seen before.
Wow, look at that.
Oh my gosh. We are heading into the unknown.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. It doesn't get any more cutting edge than this.
They call him the Beauty Queen Killer. He's targeting young women in malls.
I am single. I want to join the company of a number of women.
He tortured me.
How did she survive 9 days of terror?
The word accomplice came up.
Nobody knows the real story.
The Beauty Queen Killer. Only on Hulu.
Why do so many people start their day here?
From ABC News, this is Start Here.
To be in the know and get a different take on the day's top stories.
A lot of news today, so let's get into it.
Listen now to the Daily News Podcast honored with 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards and see why the New York Times calls it a news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, ABC News. Make it your daily first listen.
Now, that's a part of the story I bet you didn't see coming.
wherever you get your podcasts. Start here. From the team that brought you the DuPont Award-winning report, a groundbreaking new investigation spanning 9,000 miles trashed the secret life of plastic exports. Stream free on Hulu.
We're reporting on board a U.S. Navy destroyer in the Eastern Mediterranean. I'm Maggie Rulli. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're watching ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We are tracking several headlines around the world at this hour. In Buenos Aires, more than 90 people were hospitalized, 30 of them serious condition, when a 7-car passenger train collided head-on with another locomotive. The first car of the passenger train derailed on a bridge in the capital this morning. Authorities are now investigating. A chaotic scene in Germany today as roughly 800 people joined a protest outside a Tesla factory. Protesters clashed with police after they tried to storm the electric car manufacturer's factory, which is east of Berlin. They're planning to expand there. Previous protests have shut down production, and more are planned for tomorrow. And finally to Nigeria, where the Sussexes, Prince Harry and Meghan, are traveling to highlight that country's efforts to rehabilitate injured soldiers as they bid to host the Invictus Games. The couple, no longer working royals, also attended a mental health summit at a school there supported by their foundation. It's also a personal journey for Meghan, who has Nigerian ancestry. Many of you know the name, and likely many of you know the face, but not everybody knows the person. You might be asking yourself, who is Stan Smith? More than just a shoe. Trust me when I tell you, way more than just a shoe. Stan Smith is a tennis icon and philanthropist, and has done so much beyond being the face of one of the most popular sneakers of our time. Now his story is being told in a beautiful way. Let's take a look.
The Stan Smith is perfection. Stan's shoes set a standard. It's just effortless, timeless. No one really knows when it began. It feels like it's always been around.
People only know Stan Smith as a sneaker.
Who's Stan Smith?
Who is Stan Smith? Who the hell is Stan Smith?
Way more than a sneaker, trust me. Director Danny Lee and the legendary Tennis Hall of Famer himself, Stan Smith, right there, joins us in studio. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Talk about the documentary, Who is Stan Smith? Now, I knew who Stan Smith was because I grew up a tennis player and loved watching you play and knew about you as a tennis player, but I did not know a lot of the other things that the documentary shows. So are you excited to bring who you are and you know, this sneaker that has just gone for 50+ years to a new generation of folks?
Well, when they talked to me, you know, LeBron James has a company in Spring Hill, and they talked about, they saw the book I'd done, and they said, well, we'd like to do a documentary. I said, well, okay, you know, see what you can do. Then, you know, they hired Danny Lee, and it's been a real pleasure to work with him and to see him try to figure it out. You know, how do you do that, you know, especially without a lot of current, you know, film that's available from the 60s and 70s.
And so, Danny, LeBron James and the company comes to you and said, hey, we got to do this documentary. First of all, what did you know about Stan Smith before you dove into this? And then, second part of the question, what surprised you?
Well, I think like most people, I knew it primarily through the shoe. I knew he was a tennis icon. I didn't really know to the extent of how deep the story goes in terms of his relationship with Arthur Ashe, his work in democratizing tennis and essentially unionizing and paving the way for the players today. His unexpected relationship with Mark Mathabane, the young black tennis upstart from South Africa. So I knew sort of cursory, he was a tennis champion in a shoe that I remember in high school everyone wanted. And you kind of always knew it was around. You knew it was sort of this name that just had this sort of prestige attached to it. But that wasn't enough. You need to, you know, so for me, making this film was this incredible, colorful journey into tennis history and pop culture history. And what I discovered is, you know, beneath being a champion, he's this unexpected humanitarian who did a lot of good for people and never really touted his good deeds.
Yeah, I mean, everybody should see this. It's such an amazing film. But I think, for me, the one thing that was surprising was in 1973 when he was about to repeat, but the ATP started because you all stood up for a tennis player who wasn't allowed to play. That's amazing. Not a lot of athletes would do that, but you did. So let me ask you, Stan, because I think one of the great things that you do in this documentary is bring his family into it. It's this big, beautiful, big family. You know, his kids say it best, and I think that's the most wonderful way. But I want to ask you, who's Stan Smith?
Well, I would hope that I'd be remembered as somebody who tried to help other people, and also try to treat everybody the same. You know, no matter who you are, I think there's more commonality with all of us around the world, really, than differences. And certainly, you know, Arthur said it best. He had a T-shirt. His favorite T-shirt was "Citizen of the World." And he wore that a lot, and that's really was meaningful to me as well. So that you know, I'm hoping that people can really see the best in other people and disregard some of the cultural things that might be different.
Yeah. Well, as a father, if my kids ever someday say something like your kids saying this about you, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And now you got to add fashion icon. Because these are sold in high fashion stores now. Everybody wants a pair for more than just playing tennis.
Well, it's fun to see men and women and boys and girls and hippies and you know, preppies and hip hop and music and
across
fashion.
all, yeah.
So it's fun to see that.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is great. Really do appreciate meeting you. It was an honor. And Who is Stan Smith is now out in select theaters. Singer-songwriter Holly Humberstone is about to embark on her first headlining tour, and as if her debut hit album in October wasn't enough, she tells us next why she went back to remix those tracks with other artists like Muna and Medium Build.
Whenever news breaks,
We are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine. Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
In Iceland, let's go.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines, from southern Israel.
Outside the Gaza Strip.
In Beirut.
From the FBI.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
It's lunchtime in America, so what are we serving up?
Well, how about everything you need to know?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
Give it to me. Your health, your money, breaking news, pop culture, with the biggest stars, music, trends, and of course, good food. GMA 3, what you need to know. A third hour of GMA in the afternoon.
So join us, Afternoons.
For everything you need to know. I love that.
This is not about parents who just let their kid watch violent movies, play violent video games. This is about parents who neglected their son, ignored his cries for help, then bought him a gun.
The first parents in America to be charged in a school shooting.
They purchased that gun for him and bragged about it. You don't get to walk away from that. That's a criminal act.
Sins of the Parents, the Crumbly Trials.
The opposite of love is not hate. It's just being ignored.
Only on Hulu.
It has been a whirlwind last few years for our next guest. After releasing her debut album to widespread critical praise, she joined Olivia Rodrigo on tour, and now Holly Humberstone is kicking off her first ever headline North American tour. Sounds good, huh? She's also recently released reimagined tracks off her debut album, Paint My Bedroom Black. Let's take a listen to the re-release of Into Your Room featuring Muna. Holly Humberstone joins us now in studio. Holly, thanks so much for taking the time to sit with us. I know you're really busy, and like we said, it has been a whirlwind few years with EPs, album, now tour. You released your debut album in October. It was an instant hit. It was a success. Everybody loved it. You went out on tour with Olivia Rodrigo. What was behind the decision to re-release some tracks, but with collaborations? Because the collaborations are really cool.
I mean, there's so many artists out there at the moment that are doing incredible things, and yeah, I feel like I'm an artist in myself, but I'm still such a huge fan of so many of my peers. So yeah, I kind of sent a bunch of the songs from the album to a couple of my favorite artists, and luckily enough, like some of them were down to put their own spin on some of the tracks. So yeah, I love the Muna track. I love everything that they stand for, and it's so cool that I've got to work with some of my favorite songwriters.
The Muna track is great. I love Cocoon.
Thank you.
With Medium Build,
Medium
right?
Build, yes.
The two of you together are great on that. Listen to it. Earlier this year, you released your Work in Progress EP. It's a collection of tracks, uncut demos.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, I've heard you in an interview say that you get kind of impatient once you have a song, you want to get it out there. Was that part of the decision to release that?
I think so, yeah. After my album came out, I don't know, I was going back through my notes app where I keep all of my demos and all the songs that I've ever kind of written. And I was just, I was bored. And I rediscovered a couple of songs that I still really loved that had kind of slipped through the cracks, I guess. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to put them out.
Are you writing constantly in the Notes app? Are you constantly putting thoughts? How does that work?
Yeah, so I think that for me, I struggle to multitask. I struggle to write whilst I'm on tour, but it's a really inspiring time because I'm playing shows every night and connecting with fans and stuff and seeing new places. So I find that I keep my Notes app running and open on my phone at all times, just in case anybody kind of says anything that I think is cool.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of the time, that's how songs start, and that's how, yeah, a song kind of gets inspired. It's just from like a random little note or word that I've kind of picked up.
Of the uncut demos, you say it represents older versions of yourself mixed up with present versions of yourself, which is a really cool way to describe something. Your fans have come to know you and love you through your songwriting as well as the music. Was it a conscious decision to share your experiences through your music, or is that just you write what you know?
Yeah, I started songwriting when I was really young, just because I don't know, I just got so much out of it. I find that it's my way of journaling and my way of just working through stuff that's confusing and emotions and stuff. So yeah, I started songwriting for myself and for my own mental well-being, and then...
It's like therapeutic.
Yeah, so therapeutic. And somehow I've just been lucky enough to kind of turn it into my full-time job, which is, yeah, I'm really, really lucky.
So now the headline tour.
Yeah.
How excited are you, and what can your fans expect?
I'm so excited to be here. I spent a couple months, maybe 3 months here in 2022, and I did 2 back-to-back support tours, just going around the States twice, really, supporting 2 of my favorite artists, which was so much fun, and it was just the most inspiring time. And yeah, since then I've wanted to come back and have my own run of shows. And yeah, it's finally happening. I'm really, really just so excited and can't believe that I get to do my own shows here. So we're at the start of the tour at the moment, and I'm so excited.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Not for a lack of working hard over the last several years, and now you have this
you.
tour, so can't wait to see what you put out next.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Really a pleasure to meet you. And you can stream Holly's debut album, Paint My Bedroom Black, anywhere you listen to music. And you can catch her on tour, she just told you. Tickets are on sale now. And that's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night long with the latest news, context, and analysis. You can always find us on Hulu, Roku, Pluto TV, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com. Good night.